Additionally, when I made that example, I have my feet super close. You can step back if you want. Still, the same things are always going to apply. The issue that I tell kids with stepping back is, are you getting to the same positions that create joint angles and joint orientation that's going to project you diagonally and then allow your hips to take over and drive forward? Something I've gone over numerous times. If you are further back, okay, yeah, you're going to be able to drive off that back foot, but understand that the further back this leg is, you have to consider this as well. If I was traditionally a single leg driver and I drove hard off this foot, there is a normal tempo to it, meaning because I'm not necessarily worried about my back leg, your front leg and your brain were always in a certain tempo. It took you a certain hundredths of a second to go from pull to push and detachment from the rubber. If this back leg drives hard and you are hip driven with your stride, this is going to move, this leg is going to swing faster. So you have less time to go through your lower leg sequencing on this leg. So you have to speed up. When your back leg works better, you're going to have to speed up your front leg to accomplish that. And one of the issues we run into is the further apart we get, just to think that we're going to drive out, is that not all people are naturally going to understand that if I bang the back leg, I got to really be getting into my explosive position and shin angle in this leg quickly. So some people, they'll bang the back leg, and that's literally how long it takes. And you'll still see the same stair climbing regardless of you being in a deeper position. And that's what confuses people sometimes, is they're like, well, you say all this about joint angles and everything. Well, my daughter is here and she's trying to do that, but she's still ending up at the same position at 3 o'clock. Yeah, it's a good problem, because here's the thing. It's the same thing I've talked about all the time. Whether you're foot driven, meaning your shin swings in your stride leg and you reach, or you're hip driven with your femur, it's like a softball being tied to a rope. If I throw the softball, the rope is going to follow wherever the softball is thrown. So it's the same problem, but for a different reason. One is you're following your hips. The other is you're following your foot. And we'd much rather you follow your foot, and your adjustment is real simple. You got to bang the right leg quicker. You've got to go, if you're going to stand like this, you've got to be able to go quickly. You've got to be able, for the moment your hips initiate that back leg to push, when you see crease to first crease, if you're not doing that between 0.08 and 0.11 hundredths of a second, the further time frame between those two, the more you're going to get long and look like you're climbing stairs when you're trying to detach from the rubber with the foot that's on the rubber. Because, like I said, this is still moving quickly and you're taking too long to drive off the rubber. Adjustment, very simple. If it takes too long when my legs are that wide, get your legs together. It's not rocket science. So now, and that's why you see me always with my feet stacked together, because it's easy. All I got to do is change my joint angles. For me, what's the easiest way to change my joint angles? Be compact and go. I can push with both there. I can push with both there. Not a big deal. So if you were back here and you're not banging this front leg quick enough to deal with this, shorten that up. And still the same rules apply. Shin, okay, shin angle, spine, 50% of my weight is still in the transverse arch here, transverse arch there. None of those principles change. None of those things change. You just may even be a little taller from this position. You may even start right here instead. Triangle still exists. My butt's not over my heel. None of those things are happening, so we're good. I've just got to fall deeper. That just means that I got to wait a little longer to use both. But the same thing is happening. It's still a foot-driven principle. And that's a mistake we kind of equate to, well, I stood like this and she still went. Well, yeah, well, duh. That's like if I squat more with my left leg, or single leg squat more with my left leg, and my right leg 50% weaker, I'm probably gonna walk different as well too, because it's weaker. Same thing, same concept, same understanding. So understand that aspect as well when it comes to our stance, projection, and those things. We still gotta bang both.